All right, what's up, man? That was just at the skin of our teeth. Facebook was about to kick us off, and we didn't start live. Oh, 1 minute saved us. I saved us. I mean,
Well,
I'm like Superman, dude. Like fucking.
I wouldn't go that far.
I mean, I look exactly like Henry Cavill.
Okay,
I get
I
the
can see
body.
that. Yeah,
You
yeah.
should see me naked. You should see me naked. That's all I'm saying. I'm
I'll
just,
take your word for it.
but I
Hard
want to
pass.
show you. I mean, I don't take my word. I want to show.
Yeah,
You know, whatever.
if you're happy. All right.
Well, anyway, welcome
Ty-
to Friday night. Actually, it's not Friday night. It's Saturday
it's
night.
Saturday.
I fucked
Saturday
myself
night.
up. Yeah,
Yeah, damn.
special Saturday night. Yeah,
Yeah.
whole
Huge
weekend.
Saturday night. Yeah.
Huge Saturday night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean, go ahead. I'm talking over you, man. I'm sorry. I just love to hear my
Well,
voice.
clearly, it's a Saturday night edition of Art and Stuff. I'm Sean Ahrendt. And with me is Joe.
That's
Give
it.
us your. Well, give me your what you
I
said.
thought you were gonna do yours first.
Nah, I forgot. It's all right.
All right. So I'm the only one doing it. I don't
Yeah.
want to let anybody down out there. All right.
Well,
I'm the very attractive, the very sexy, the very distinguished. Always narcissistic, but never vain. Joseph Michael Sonntag, or Joe M. Sonntag if you prefer, or as the Pope likes to call me, JMS.
I don't think you know the Pope.
I do know the Pope. I grew up with
All
him.
right.
Yeah, we're tight, like
Right.
back in Sicily, that's
Oh,
when I
the
met
old
him.
country.
Yeah, the old country. Yeah, of course.
Cool.
But what we have tonight, by popular demand, I should say, is that we've got one of my favorite artists right now, all about the books. Time for a dab. Okay.
Like of
Like a dab? Like,
like a
okay. Like, you got it? You're providing it?
yeah, sure.
One of my favorite artists who is just killing it right now. We had him on, I want to say a month ago, when Sean wasn't with us. Mike McMahon was doing the co-hosting, so it was awesome that Rob came back because I know that Sean really wanted to talk to him and just have a cool conversation. So tonight's just going to be a return conversation, and we're just going to talk about whatever we feel like talking about. We're going to showcase some art. Join us, ask some questions, talk shit. Let's have a good time. So without further ado, we're going to bring on superstar artist Rob.
Motherfucking.
Damn it, we should have done it at the same time. Well, let's do it again, right?
Yeah, 1,
2, 3.
Rob motherfucking.
What the? God, whatever. Rob motherfucking Willis. There we go.
Yeah.
You guys almost got it right. What's
We
up?
almost got it right.
Yeah.
God, that was horrible.
How's it going?
So he's out.
Going
Good.
All right.
What's up,
So how are you?
Sofizo?
How's the pages coming? On Graveyard Shift.
Pages
Get
on
right into it.
Graveyard Shift.
Get right into it.
They're coming along good. I'm doing Shinobi. I'm doing Graveyard Shift. I'm doing covers. I'm doing. I got all kinds of things I'm doing. The Graveyard Shift's a pretty exciting book. It's doing really good, and the characters are awesome. Malin gave me a nice little. I don't know if it's like a side story or I think it's like a side story, a little 20-page side story about that goes into some other characters that he just created. And these are some really cool characters. It's a nice variety of characters. We got
Let's see if I can find it.
some I haven't shown off. I don't know how much John has showed off of the book or any of the characters, but I think so far the only art that's been displayed is like the big dude standing over the hunters.
And that looks fucking awesome, man. I mean, it's very Pit Dale Kiln like, and I love it.
That's kind of like what he asked for. He said kind of go that way, but don't go that way. He had the character designed because he knows well, it would appear I like to draw these big hulkish characters because you see a lot of it. But I like to draw all characters. It doesn't matter. It just seems to be what I've been drawing a lot of lately. But yeah, it's right up my alley. I think it's going to be a really cool project, and I'm glad it's doing so good. I have quite a few pages roughly laid out. I got 3 pages done out of 17 that need to be done.
There we go.
right on.
completed.
So
That
that's
was
what we're talking about for
ridiculous.
anybody. Yeah, if anyone's wondering, that's what we're talking about right now. That page.
Mike Green, shout out to Mike.
It's
How you
actually
doing, brother?
it's actually 2 pages. It's like a fold out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you turn your book sideways and it kind of folds out. That's pages 2 and 3, I believe. So it comes in with a nice shot of him, and you get another really good shot of him later on in the book, like a real badass shot of this guy. It's going to be really cool.
I love how you have like the fog effect or the wind whipping aspect. I don't know if that's part of the character, if it's just part of the scene, but that's just I love how you put the entire page together is awesome.
Well,
the uplighting is great.
I got to give credit to John. He's pretty much got all the pages laid out. How exact? He's very precise. Where Cal and me, he gives me a lot of room to do whatever. I think John's got a really solid idea of what he wants on those pages, so I don't have to do any guesswork really.
Nice.
He's kind of like, all right, well, this is how I need this page drawn, and that's what I'm doing. So the credit goes to John for the cool page layout. I just drew it. So, but yeah, this dude turned out really cool, and the colors are a little darker than I thought they were going to be. I wish they'd been a little lighter, but I think it's because this isn't really supposed to be a big reveal of this character. It's kind of supposed to be mysterious. So you got some real dark colors, and you just see kind of a little bit of them. Yeah,
I love that. I have not backed Graveyard Shift 3 yet because I'm just waiting to get the money. Because when I do get that, and get the supplemental book, which is what I'm pretty sure this is it's going to be in the supplemental book. But I want to make sure I get that because that looks awesome.
I haven't backed it yet either. I need to. I'm like you. I gotta find the right. I gotta have the right funds to set aside to back these projects that I want. I think John might just give me a book though. Like I don't know if I'm gonna back it. I'm gonna see if he'll just hook me up with a copy.
Yeah, I would hope so. That
I mean, I'd love to contribute to the campaign though. I do like to contribute to campaigns. When I can. There's a lot that I've wanted to that I just haven't been able to, or either I haven't been able to yet. I think most of them are still live, so I would like to do it before they go to fulfillment. But yeah, there's so many books I'd like to back right now that I haven't got around to backing.
So real quick, let me pull this off so we can see each other. All About the Book said it must be crazy working for Malin. How's that been? Just knowing those guys, working
I've talked to, I don't know. I haven't talked to Malin really. I think I got like 2 texts from him or something like that.
Oh, really?
We haven't really talked that much. I'm sure we will though. I'm sure we'll talk. I don't get a chance to really get on streams, and I haven't given him a phone call or anything. We haven't done all that. He sent me the info. He contacts me, on Twitter on DMs and stuff like that. Very rarely, though. I know he's real busy, and I think he knows I'm pretty busy right now. So we kind of maybe stay out of each other's way, even though we're working together, I guess.
Right.
Well, it's a good thing about technology,
Yeah.
All About the Book said, did Malin give you any tips on drawing? But I guess you said you haven't really talked to him that much. So
well, no, I will say. I did the initial page layout, or a rough like thumbnail of what I was gonna do. It was a little more energetic, I think. But he kind of explained how he wanted it to be a little more subtle, and he wanted the angle a little different. And he actually shot me a thumbnail, and it was pretty descriptive, and it was helpful. I think John is really good at laying out his characters. Well, he's a really good artist, but
absolutely
great positioning and perspectives and things like that.
Really
he's really good at them.
Shit. Yeah. He's awesome at designing a page.
Mm-hmm. So I will definitely take some tips from John anytime he sends them my way.
All right, so here's the black and white for anybody that hasn't seen it, which I'm assuming that a lot of people are checking in has seen it, but anybody that has not seen Rob's work yet, this was the same page we just showed, but the black and white version.
Now, what do you use for the white?
For the what? For the white?
Yeah, for the white for making like the negative cross hatching.
Right now I'm using the Copic whiteout. Copic opaque whiteout. I water it down a little bit,
Okay.
and I use a quill, and I go back and do any kind of negative cross hatching and stuff like that with a quill.
Right on.
It,
It's
it
that
works.
little Copic one, right? Because I have something. It looks like it's like a nail,
Yeah, it
like
looks.
chicks with their nail polish. It's
It's
really
like a
tiny.
little itty bitty jar.
Yeah, it's a little guy. All right,
It's
cool. I got that. I'll fuck
it
with
got the
it.
white. It's got a white cap. It's
Yeah.
no, I'm almost out. I gotta go buy some more.
I'll
Actually,
just check it out. I don't think I've ever even seen that.
it's
I got
good.
that
I mean,
blip.
it's. I don't know what's the best. Somebody was telling me about one. Could have been Dan. Could have been somebody else. Was telling me about one you don't have to. You don't actually have to water down to use. But I seem to do just fine watering it down a little bit. That way it runs because it's so thick. You want to when you're using a quill, you want it to run. You want it to flow really good, like ink, or else you're going to get really splotchy lines. It's going to blob up and
Yeah.
look pretty bad.
If I can, let's see. So this is what I use
I got that.
a
Yeah.
lot of times, and you don't have to water this down. You just take it right out of the bottle. But you have to use a brush. It doesn't, as far as I know, it doesn't work with a quill.
Oh, okay.
But,
See,
Pro
that's why I water it down, so it will run off the quill. The Copic runs fine with a brush if you want to brush it in. It's not it's probably about the same consistency as that. But if you want it to run off a quill, if you add a little bit of water to it, mix it up real good, you get some nice sharp lines with it. It works really good.
I might have to try that.
Yeah, definitely give it a shot. You'll say I use I'll tell you what quills work good. Not a crow quill or the 102. Not really so good with it.
Really?
I don't know if you have any G pins or
Yeah, I got a
something with
couple.
the G pins are really good. And then I have another quill that's similar to the G pin. And it works just as good. So something a little more broad on the tip, a little more broad than the crow quill.
Okay.
It seems to run a lot better. I think the crow quill is a little too fine to get it to flow properly.
Gotcha.
At least I can.
At this point, I've just been using like pens and whiteouts and whatever I can figure out to do when I do like the negative cross hatching, negative lines or whatever. But I want to try using more brush techniques and stuff. I think the last time we talked, we were talking about, and I still haven't been able to because I've been working on a lot of pencils. But I've got a commission I'm working on right now that I'm going to actually try to ink with the 102. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, fuck that up. Like that's not on your dime.
Well,
yeah, all right, cool. It's like,
I'm gonna do the stuff that needs to be like really tight, like the faces and stuff with the normal Copic pens or whatever. But I'm still gonna experiment. I want to do it.
right,
I've been wanting to do it now for a while.
You can get the 102. You can get fine lines just like you will with a Copic. That's what mainly I use the crow quill for, or the 102 is for like facial detail, small, tiny stuff. Yeah, I get really fine lines with that. They're so fine that I won't use it anymore on most of my other work, especially outlining and stuff like that, because it's too fine. So I'll go to something a little heavier for some of those, like I said, those bolder lines that need to stand out a little more. I like something like a G pen or something. I do my outlines with, or any heavy.
Saying hell yeah, Joe. That's because that's who I'm doing the commission for.
right on, yeah. So you heard it here first. He's gonna fuck up your commission by testing out something he's never tried before.
I've tried it before in the past.
Right.
Way in the past. But that was before I knew what the hell I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I at least know a little bit more of what I'm doing nowadays. So
yeah, you let him know that.
Dude, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Cool.
You heard it here first. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be huge.
Now, Rob, do you just go straight to the board, like you'll do like a layout, or do you blow it up, do a light box, go through that whole bullshit, or is it just from your head to the pencil?
Just I pencil it in and then I go. I don't. I have a light box, but I don't use it.
Mhm.
Somebody sent it to me, and I haven't got a chance to use it yet because I'll ink right over my pencils. I don't save my pencils or anything. I'll scan them, and if I want to print them out later or something, I can. But yeah, I ink right over the original pencils. And partially because I don't want to go out and I can't. I don't know if my printer will print onto Bristol board. I haven't figured out. Somebody told me it will, but I haven't figured out how to do it yet. If it does,
To do like a blue line printout or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if not, I got to find a print shop that'll print onto Bristol board because most of the ones directly around me won't. So it's a hassle to have to scan and reprint my pencils. And since I'm selling the final pages to Shinobi Sasquatch, I um I just ink right over the pencils and get it done.
Yeah, it's usually what I do too, but I don't go as tight with my pencils as you do. And I was really, really amazed, and we talked about this last time, but really amazed to see how tight you go with your pencils and then go back and ink, which is probably good because then you can work everything out with the pencils. Where a lot of times I'll get the most amount that I need to know what I'm doing, and then I'll start inking. And then if I need to go back in and pencil something out, if I get stuck, then I'll do that, and it's just a process. But if I had patience, I would do it your way for sure. Because I would love to have a pencil piece, and then I would ink. I'd do like you said. I'd print it out and I'd do a ink piece because it would be awesome to have both. You could sell.
Yep. Yeah, I need to start doing that. Definitely be good to make a little extra money that way. My pencils have gotten a little looser more recently. Not incredibly loose. Sometimes I want to make sure exactly what's on that page is going to be what's inked. And then sometimes I get a little more free about it, and I'm like, all right, I know what I'm doing, so I can just kind of. I don't usually show those pencils off though, so you won't see them too often.
Right.
I only really show off the tighter ones, but a lot of the stuffs have been really loose, and thank God I've gotten a little more comfortable inking that way because it speeds the process up a lot more. In the beginning, I made sure all my pencils were tight because I was just learning how to ink, and I wanted to make sure I didn't screw it up, especially since I'm inking right over the original pencils, and there's no reprinting it and doing it all over again.
Yeah.
So, but
all about the book. As you sold to, I'm assuming you talked about the original pencils or the original pencils. You said you sold to Cal? Question mark.
Sold what to Cal?
I'm thinking he was talking about the pages for Shinobi Sasquatch. That's the only thing I can think of.
Oh, no. They went on the campaign. Most of them, 45 of them, were sold to all you guys. Whoever backed that tier. 45 pages are going to backers. And then
nice.
I think there's going to be. I'm going to send some to Cal so he can hang on to some. I don't know how many exactly. And then I'll probably just sell whatever's left over. I probably won't get a lot of money for them because all the good ones are going to backers. I'm not going to hang on to the better pages. I want to make sure everybody that paid, $300 for a page is going to get a nice page. And then the boring ones I'll keep for myself and maybe sell them on the side. Make a couple extra bucks.
All about the books.
You say boring, but they're probably so intricately detailed and this beautiful.
Well, they're going to be good.
Establishment shot, and you're like, oh.
They're going to be good, but I think most of the action pages is what I'm going to be sending to the people who back that tier. Sure. So all the talking pages, conversations, and little in between, the more subtle moments throughout the book, I'll probably hang on to those.
Yeah. All about the books that I backed the black and white. So did I. And I got the colored version and the black and white version. So I'm excited to see. Which I actually encourage anybody that's doing crowdfunding campaigns to throw a black and white version of the book on there. because artists, at least I do, I love seeing that shit.
Me too.
Yeah.
Collect that stuff all day long. So I'm excited. I'm the more excited to see that than I am the actual colored version.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I think I would definitely go for a black and white. If the artist is good and I like their work, I'd rather get the black and white version. But I don't think most people feel the same way because we haven't sold that many of the black and white books.
Really?
Maybe it
Crazy.
could be everybody that backed before we added the black and white tier just is like, you know what, I'm not going to go back and worry about it, or they just I think Paul does a really good job on the colors, and I think that's what's attracting a lot of people to the book too. So at least if they get the color, they get the best of both. They get Paul's colors and my art and Cal's writing. So
Yeah.
It's
It's
like,
a good
hey.
team.
I don't want to leave
Don't
Cal
mind
out.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful looking book from what you guys have on the Indiegogo page. So I can't wait to see the actual full. What is it? 80 pages. It's going to be now, all together.
84, 85 or something.
Ooh,
like that.
God, it's a big book. Holy shit!
It's a big book, and I think it's taken a while. Me and Cal were talking about because it is a time-consuming project, and it's taken a little while to get it done, especially with me being drawn into other projects and things like that. I almost didn't take Graveyard Shift because of Shinobi Sasquatch and needing to get it done. I think John reached out to me one time and asked me about it. Maybe not that. He reached out to me prior to that though, and I think I told him I didn't really have time to do anything, and then he hit me up again, and I almost wanted to say no because I gotta get this book done, but at the same time, that's Graveyard Shift. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a popular book. I wanted to be a part of it, and I was honored that he even reached out to me and wanted me to be a part of it. And we worked something out to where I think he asked me if I could do 4 pages a month to meet a deadline, and I was like, no, I wish I could. I can do 3. So that's pretty much what I'm trying to do here is get him 3 pages a month, and that way, it's pace myself that way. And I think if I can do that, he'll meet his deadline, I'll meet my deadline, and the book will come out on time. Now with Shinobi, we've had to push the date back mainly because we hit the stretch goals that we didn't think we were going to hit, which ended up adding like 35 more pages to the book. So that, and with taking on other projects, it's slowed it down. And I know there's probably people that are pissed off about that and telling me, fuck you, why are you taking on other projects when you got to get this book out? And to those people, I'm really sorry. I got bills though, and I got to make sure if I'm going to be able to do this, I got to be able to pay my bills and feed my family. But sure. I do promise you, I could zip through it and get you guys the book in record time, but it wouldn't be that good of a book. It would be a rushed project, and I don't want to give anybody a rushed project. I want them to get a book they're going to be happy they backed.
Yep.
So,
that's kind of the point of crowdfunding, campaigns is to get the quality.
Yeah.
If you want rush products, you can go buy from the big 2 that will have pencils and 10 inkers, banging out a book, Yeah. But it's like if you're paying and you're helping fund a crowdfunding project, you're doing it because you want that quality. And if you wait for it, you wait for it. I think that should be known. It comes with the territory when you're backing a project. It just is.
And you're forthcoming. You're forthcoming about it too. You're like, this is what's up. You're not running and hiding. You're not doing the work.
No.
It's life.
I let everybody know I'm working on it. I try and show off as much as I can as I go. Sure. And I think me and Cal were talking the other day. I hope I'm not ruining any kind of surprise or saying that we're going to be doing something that maybe he changed his mind about. But I think what we're going to try and do is send everybody a digital copy of like a little first 21, 22 pages, all done, all colored, all finished up. I think we're going to try and give everybody a little taste of what they're going to be getting when the book arrives.
That's cool. Yeah,
that's cool.
Kind of hold everybody off
with
for
the
a little
appetite.
bit.
No, that's a good idea. I mean, with it being an 80-page book, you could afford to give 20 of those out, I guess, if you wanted to. I mean, that's a good idea.
It's like a little preview, man, because that's only it's not even a, well, I guess, yeah, it's a little over a quarter of the book. But it gets better and better. So it's still just a little preview. You get a little bit of the first fight scene, or you get there's like one fight scene in the beginning there, and you'll get that, but then it goes on. The story just gets crazier and crazier, so it's not going to ruin anything for you when you actually get the book. Just kind of hope we're just trying to do it to give the people that are waiting something, without actually, because we were talking about shipping out the Monster MD and Shinobi Sasquatch book, because everybody that backed Shinobi Sasquatch gets a copy. Everybody that backed Monster MD gets a copy. And well, he's like, since it's taken so long, you want to, he was going to take a hit on his money, the money he's making off of this project to put that into shipping. But pretty much I was thinking that's kind of, I think he could, I told him not to do that, because I know none of us are making a whole lot of money off this project to begin with. Okay. It's doing good. It's almost at 80K, but I mean, with all the expenses, you don't get that much money. So instead of sending that book out, what I was thinking was, well, most of the people that backed Monster MD probably back Shinobi Sasquatch. We probably have a lot, maybe not most, but we have a lot of the same backers. And Monster MD is getting ready to be finished and sent out. So they're going to get the book already anyway. They're going to get the team up book anyway with Monster MD. So, I mean, for some people that wouldn't have been a great deal because they'll already have the book. So that's why we settled on possibly sending out the digital, because it won't cost anything and it'll give everybody a little taste of what they're going to be getting in the mail a little bit later.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Well, Cal thought of it, I think.
Steal the credit. No, steal it. It's good,
When I have a when I have a good idea, trust me, I'll let you know it's my idea. But when it's not my idea, I won't take credit for it, man. I don't want Cal watching later and being like, "That son of a bitch. That was my idea." Here he is on stream stealing it. He's not that smart. He doesn't come up with these.
It's like, oh, but that's brilliant.
So with all the attention you've been getting, you're getting a ton of work, with the campaigns you're working on, all the commissions, the covers. I mean, you're just crazy busy. Do you have any aspirations once you kind of get past a certain point to work on your own personal projects? Like, do you have characters and ideas, your own books in mind that you want to, write yourself? Get a writer
I have about 10 different projects that I've got kind of laid out of my own that will probably come out over the next 8 years, I guess. Maybe, probably about the next 8 years I'll have. And they're all a little bit different. And some of them may get shelved to do sequels to the books that I actually might end up favoring. But I got a bunch of different books. Some are a little bit more comedy, but really cool. One of them is just straight up like some Marvel, X-Men, X-Force type team books. Nice. And then but my next book is Dredge, which may end up consuming me. I may put everything, depending on how good it does, because it's definitely my favorite of the projects I have lined up. If it does well enough, I'll probably get directly into the second book before I do anything else. Maybe even the third book. And then it may just end up taking over and I just might be doing Dredge. That might be like my pet project for the next 20 years or something, if I can maintain it.
Well, just based on the name, it sounds cool. Is it like a monster character, like a a hulking character, or is it?
You know, I've got him kind of laid out. I posted a picture on Twitter of what I thought about using for the cover, but I may just end up using it as promotional art because I think I want to mess with his design a little bit. He is a pretty big dude. He's not like as big as the Hulk, but he's a big guy. And without getting into too much of the story, oh man, I don't want to give too much away, and I don't want to say anything and then end up changing anything or something, you know. But I will tell you, it's very dark. It's not for kids under, I'll say under 14, 13 years old. It's an adult book. It's got a lot of adult themes. It's pretty psychological. It's wicked. It's going to be a wicked book. But it is comic book style. It's not like some kind of dramatic book that's going to be turned into like I would ever think would be turned into like some kind of TV show or something like that. It's just It's a really cool comic book, but it's not like your typical DC or Marvel book. It would probably go really good in the Image catalog back. It would have probably fit in pretty good then.
Is this it?
What's that?
Can you see this?
That's a Shinobi Sasquatch page.
That is? Okay.
Yeah, this is that was a partial panel I posted earlier. If you scroll down my page a little bit, you can't miss it because it has it says Dredge at the top, but it's just the black and white. It might be down there a little bit though.
Yeah, he's
got his back. He's got his back, and he's kind of like looking over his shoulder, and then there's like this dude sitting there eating popcorn and like drinking a soda, sitting up on like the ledge of the wall, and there's like all these bodies on the ground that he just destroyed. I don't know. It's got like a female over there. He lives in like a Detroit type city, only probably worse.
Worse than Detroit.
Probably worse.
Wow.
It's a little, yeah. Detroit's bad. This is really bad. Like it's there's some real like a lot of real evil corruption going on. That's pretty much what like fuels this city, and it's pretty much a really run down, just a dirty place. Crooked politicians, crooked cops, and then just your regular criminal elements, I guess. And then you got people that just live there because
gnarly.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. I knew I have seen this before, so I knew it sounded familiar. Yeah, that's badass, dude. Woo.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on somebody to color it, man. I had a guy that was supposed to color it, and I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he just blew me off or something. Like this was like maybe 6 months ago. I sent him the file. And I was like, hey, he was like, well, I got a few things I'm working on now. I was like, yeah, cool. Take your time, no rush. I was like, what do you want me to pay you? He was like, just, I'll have you pay me when I finish. I was like, all right, cool. And I have not heard back from him about it. And maybe it's just because he's waiting for me to hit him up and be like, okay, I need you to get this colored now. Or maybe he's just gotten way too busy because he is busy. He's coloring what is he coloring now? I know he was coloring something Booth was drawing. Demon Puppy was working on.
Yeah.
And I think he was working on something else too. I've seen his work. I've seen his colors on a few things recently. So I know he's real busy. So he might just be waiting on me to hit him up. If not, though, I have 2 other people in mind that I'm going to get to either color this piece or whatever I redraw for the cover. Because I really want to add something to him. He's pretty plain right here. Pretty basic.
Yeah.
I want to give him some more gear. I want to have him like weighed down with just shit. You know what I mean? Just different things. And
like you said, image style, old school image style.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, it fits right. It's kind of got like a like the Max meets like Sin City, or
Nice.
with a little bit of maybe even a little bit of some Spawn in there, man. Like just the feel of it. You know what I mean? It's real dark. It's real dark. It's gonna be gory. It's gonna be dark, and it's gonna have some adult. There's not gonna be like any hinting about what might be taking place. You're gonna know, like, these are really foul creatures, and the way I did that is because the way he handles these people or things or whatever, because there's is very brutal, and so I have to justify his brutality with honesty about the type of people he's dealing with. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's gonna be pretty rough. It's gonna be rough. So anybody who backs it, just know when you read it, the drawings are just gonna be cool. If you're one of those people that just flip through the book, but if you actually read it, you're gonna be like, "Fuck, Rob's got a fucked up head."
There we go. I'm all about it.
What's up, Rebecca? Jojo Safizo Graficos said, "I dig the style, Rob." And,
thank you.
You know, one thing I wanted to bring up, just looking at this, I'm gonna bring it back up. I want to take you down so I didn't cover your face with all the comments, but I absolutely love the way that you do shadow work. You know, it's just how things disappear into shadow, how you get the white spots to just really pop out. I mean, there's so much incredible detail in this cover right here. It's insane. And just the way that you use like the dark at the top, bringing the eyes down to the picture, and like everything just draws you right into your main character. It's just such a good composition. Just
yeah,
awesome.
I'm figuring it out day by day, like how to kind of, yeah, like you said, steer the eye where you want it to be focused on, you know. It sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But I'm picking up on some better techniques, some graphic designing type techniques that help along with the process. And damn, man, it's late and I keep losing my train of thought. I haven't drank or anything. I'm just like, I woke up really early this morning and the kids have been driving me crazy all day. And like, usually I'm laid back in the bed right now. So I keep losing my train of thought because like my brain is like fighting.
I feel you.
It's fighting with me.
You got that dad life, man. Understandable.
Yeah, and my wife is at school full time right now, about to get her nursing degree, and also working full time. She's been dealing with the COVID shit at work, and like she's never here, so it's really just me, and sometimes the grandparents are helping with the kids when I need them to. So
wow, I was surprised you get any work done, man. That's a lot. Like,
yeah, surprisingly, I get plenty of work done. I get more than I expected I'd get done, but the kids are pretty good. Like, you know, just as long as I keep them set up with something to do, make sure they're taken care of. They you know, my youngest, Soraya and Angelo will come and pull on my, you know, come in and start messing with me. You know, so sometimes I gotta get up and stop, especially when I'm inking, because they'll come up and try slapping my desk and, hey, what's this? And like knocking my ink over and shit. I'm like, oh man, I gotta just take a break. But for the most part, they're good. They let me work, and yeah, I'm lucky. I've gotten lucky because yeah, the kids sometimes I didn't think I would get as much done as I have been able to. So I don't know.
Discipline. You got disciplined kids. Sounds good.
that's good. What's up, Elliot?
I don't got kids. I don't know. You know, hey.
I don't know if there's a such thing as a disciplined kid. They're learning. They're learning. But that's because I want them to. I see all the shit that's going on like on the news today, and I'm like, this is bad parenting. This is the result of bad parenting. A lot of shit that's going on is kids that were never disciplined. I'm not saying all of that's what it is, but you see a lot of kids that have never been told no in their life, or never had their ass whooped for doing something insane, or never been taught any kind of respect or anything, from what it seems. And I'm just like, there's no way my kids will ever grow up to be like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of good examples out there of how not to raise your kids.
Yeah.
So that's for, and I grew up getting punished, getting spanked, and everything. And the funny thing about that is, when you experience some pain and punishment for doing something wrong, you tend not to do it again. Instead of just,
it helps. You learn about consequences to your actions. The earlier you learn, the more likely you are to know about that when you hit that age where it's important. That when your actions are going to have real consequences.
Yeah.
I mean, you got kids now, man. Like, it's sad. You get these kids like, I'm not gonna say protesting, but like rioting, in Portland, and they're doing shit like because they're young, they're full of emotions, and you can see like their parents aren't, like, you got parents out there doing this shit with them. You know what I mean? And maybe they got their purpose, maybe not. I don't know. But to the level that they're going, and then when they get arrested for trying to light some shit on fire, or attacking a cop, or just trying to break into a federal building, you know what I mean? Like, throwing like flash bombs and shit like that, and then they go to jail. But it's the reaction I see when they get snatched up and they start losing their minds, like they don't understand. Like, why is this happening to me? And I'm like, why? What are you talking about?
Why wouldn't you tell me? Oh man,
yeah, that's just ridiculous.
So I'm very I mean, I give my kids a lot of freedom and free range, but when it comes to them making mistakes, I let them know they made a mistake, and I'm not violent or anything about it, but they're going to have some kinds of consequence for their actions, whether I'm taking their favorite whatever it is, or it's just sitting down and talking to them really seriously, or both. They're going to learn about that. That they can't go and burn down a building when they're 18 and not wind up in jail for it. And and it's not the cops' fault when they take you to jail for that. You know what I mean?
It's just that's good parenting. That's teaching how to interact with the world when you can make decisions. Same thing with driving. You get behind the wheel of a car. If you're not taught to drive, you go out, possibly kill somebody. It's just it's crazy, man.
I think a lot of people don't understand that this world will literally eat you alive, man. It's a day-to-day struggle out there. You know what I mean? Like, this game is designed for you to lose. It is like this game. If you don't stay up, you're gonna lose this game. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people think that this life is supposed to just hand everything to them.
I wish.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Help me, give me.
But it wouldn't be fun, man. Then it wouldn't be a fun game.
No,
it'd be pretty it'd be pretty boring.
Yeah.
But double back real quick.
Yeah.
Elliot jumped on. I was going Elliot, and he was saying that I was looking at the dredge drawing for hours before I realized there was a girl in the bottom right corner. Such details and tidbits in that piece. Great work.
Thanks, Elliot.
Like I was saying before, just some fantastic details. It's awesome.
Yeah, Elliot's cool. He's got some good artwork.
What's up, Andre?
Too.
What's up, Dre? Awesome. Shout out to him.
Yeah, Elliot's a really cool dude on Twitter. He's very supportive of a lot of people. I see him sharing art all the time and commenting on people. I try to do as much as I can in return, because I dig his stuff as well. The thank you for joining the show. Thank you for supporting all of us. Really appreciate that. And anybody, if I missed any of your comments, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep up as much as I can. Try to grab you when I see you. I'll try to double back if we get a chance, but keep on joining the show, asking questions. You know, whatever. I mean, be a part of the show.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Elliot's a good dude, man. I like Elliot, and he's made some leaps since I first saw. I think the first piece of art I saw of his, and compared to some of the stuff he's been showing off just over the last week or two, he's getting really good.
He does a lot of buildings in his backgrounds, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. He's good. He's got skills.
He chooses to do that. He's a better man than me.
That's good.
I don't do him unless I have to.
Like, wow.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot, and I'm like, hell no. Like,
that's the best way to improve. Draw stuff you don't want to draw that you're going to have to draw.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wish I'd done that more when I was a younger artist instead of just drawing boobs all the time.
Yeah. You draw what you like, and then it's not what it's about. Then you start getting into doing comics, and you're like, fuck, I never figured out how to draw any of this shit.
Yeah.
I have to draw backgrounds. I have to do
light
buildings,
bulb? Jesus
landscape.
Christ.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then you see some of these schmucks where they're just like copy and paste from a model, and it's like,
oh yeah.
That's I mean, it works for some people. I don't really particularly like it, but it works for some art. Thank God for Google, though. I couldn't imagine being like an artist in the 80s doing comic books and not knowing what you're trying to draw.
That's actually a really good point. I never thought about it. That's actually a really good point.
Yeah,
because Google is my friend when I'm drawing. It's just like,
oh yeah, you look up references.
Hell yeah.
Look up references. I mean, I guess back then they had to, I don't know, get an encyclopedia or something.
I know Jim Lee had something called like the morgue, where it was like these big, trays and doors and cabinets full of fucking random shit. Just, oh, you need a tank from Italy? All right, let me go through this or whatever. And it's like,
all right.
You know how much space that is?
Yeah.
And like the nonsense, you gotta look for the specific bullshit. Oh my god.
You got to get up from your drawing, go to wherever you have all these references stored, dig through it till you find the one you're looking for. Like, that kills so much time. And now all you got to do is just pick up your phone or get on the computer and be like, what does this look like? Boom.
Oh, dude, when I'm drawing,
okay,
iPad prop to the side of me so I can just quickly start typing in stuff or looking up whatever reference I need for anatomy or buildings or animals or whatever, Yeah, Andre said, page you got there, Rob, reminds me of classic 90s image.
Awesome, man. That's what I'm trying to do. Trying to bring it back a little bit. I
think that's why I love your art so much. It's because that's what I grew up on. That's what I try to achieve in my art, because that's the style I love. And you're producing that, and I wish more people were drawing like that, honestly. Like I don't ever get tired of seeing that style. I really don't.
Yeah.
Never.
It's nostalgically refreshing. If that even fucking makes sense, because it's something that we all grew up on. Like it's our taste. It's our buffet. But
some of the 90s stuff was a little over the top. I loved it, but I don't think I'll go there. Like I can't think of any off the top, but if you go back and look at some of those, like some of that stuff is just crazy. I'll say, like, I'll use some of Liefeld's work, for example, even though I still love it. Like in that realm of just crazy pouches and guns stacked, like barrel gun, like I won't go that far. But it's really cool though. Like it is. I want to tie in a little bit of modern with that 90s explosive awesomeness.
And I think that's that's basically what the key right there, because that kind of stuff was a niche for the 90s. It was something that was really popular. You love to see guys carrying these fucking guns that were twice the size of them. It's just you suspended reality to be in this awesome, fantastic universe. Nowadays, people, they shun that a little bit, but what you're talking about is if you took that art style, what you do, and then you brought it a little bit more grounded reality a little bit, that's kind of what you're producing. That's kind of like the same thing I'm doing, the same thing Sean's doing.
bit.
I think that's the key to do it, like take that kind of style, ground it a little bit more in reality as far as not going so far over the top, but you still have that really cool energy. I mean, take for instance Brett Booth. That dude's amazing, and he's got that 90. He kept that 90s style, but he added, he defined it, and he sleeked it out, and he's the only guy right now I see that's doing like those really dynamic page layouts and poses and all that kind of stuff on a consistent basis.
He's pretty close to perfect. Booth, man.
Great way to
he's
say,
pretty close to perfect. And I mean by what I mean is like he nails it every time. There's I haven't really seen anything recent. If you look at his old work, it's a little hit or miss. But you can tell he's been putting in that time over the last 20 whatever years he's been working. And he's gotten so good. He's so consistent, and everything he does has a ton of energy. The characters are always on point. There's never any part of any character you look at and you're like, he kind of flubbed the hand a little there, or that leg's kind of a little. Nah, everything's always spot on. It's always very captivating. It really sucks you into the page. Like he's extremely consistent with his work. I admire that dude because, I mean, he throws down and he throws down fast.
Yeah. That's unbelievable.
I think he's the John Byrne of this generation.
Yeah.
Look like John Byrne was the model sheet, let's say. Like people wanted. So emulate that to work off and start off of. Brett Booth is a prime example of that. And the funny thing is, when he was on the show, he's like, I don't think I really caught on until I went to DC like 10 years ago. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, to me, you've kind of always been like that, more or less. But yeah, the DC shit is showing.
He was more. He had that. I mean, back when he first started with Image, he wasn't as precise. It was more playful.
Sure.
I mean, he was good, but he had that 90s style to where it was just. I don't know how to explain it. The precise anatomy wasn't that important. It was just as long as there was some. It was pretty much in place. It was. Yeah, I don't really know how to explain it, but I know he's taken what he had then and stepped it up like 100 times. And he's got the same style, but it's so much better that it almost doesn't look like the same style anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
I love his facial expressions too. The way he does faces, awesome. There's nobody really better than him. Jim Lee does really cool faces too, though.
Jim Lee does good, and I know a lot of the guys learn from Jim Lee and everything, but like you were saying, like just studying Brett's work over the last few years that I have, and I've followed Brett for a long time, but just really getting into his stuff big time and really seeing how he does things. I get so jealous sometimes when I see faces like you're talking about, when he draws like women or whatever, dudes, it doesn't matter, like just how perfect the faces look. In a comic book style, but everything is there, and it just, to draw like that would be awesome.
It really, it stands out. He's really good about when people send him, can you hear me or am I breaking up?
No, you're good.
We can hear you. Yep.
Am I breaking up?
Nope.
No, I mean, you're fine on our end. If you need to jump off real quick and come back in, go for it.
I'm breaking up. I'm breaking up on this end though.
Okay.
Yeah, let me do that. I'm gonna jump off. I'm gonna come right back. I don't know what's going on with my service right now. Hold on.
Sounds good. So I see a couple questions in the chat. I will get to you guys when I'll double back and get some of these two specifically that I see that I missed. Well, it's funny. Sean, we're talking about guys like Brett Booth. In the old days, you got to see a guy develop before your eyes. You know,
Yeah.
when a company would actually pick up a young artist and you watch him grow. You know, nowadays it's like you have to be industry ready to almost get a job. You know, it kind of sucks
Well,
in that aspect.
what they kind of like teach you or let you like to be known as ready for the industry,
Yeah,
and what contrast it, and what, because you look at some of the stuff and you're like, that's not typical superhero exaggeration, anatomy, form, structure, whatever you want to call it. Some might
right.
be more toonish, which is awesome, or some might be like a shrinky dink stamp. You know, like if you catch my drift on like how they look, like.
Yeah, I got you.
But yeah. So just do whatever the fuck you want. And have fun.
Absolutely. I mean, that's to me, that's what comics is about, and that's what I loved about the '90s because you had the popular styles and you had like house styles that were out there, but then you had a lot of experimental styles too, and people were just drawing what they wanted to draw, and they were getting a lot of attention and fans out of it. You know, and I know you and I have talked before. Like nowadays, it seems like the certain companies are looking for a specific style of artist, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, that style of artist is not appealing to me, which is why I don't buy a lot of their books. So,
Hmm.
uh, when Rob gets back, though, I want to double back. All about the books had asked Rob, what comics do you read? So I'm going to answer that question since we're here. Sean, what comics do you read right now?
Jesus fuck. I just got my
I haven't
July
heard of that one.
shipment.
Ugh.
Nah, I just got my July shipment of books in. I think there's like 63 on there.
Holy
But
shit.
but I don't read them. Like I'm so far behind. Like the stuff I was reading religiously was like Spawn, Savage Dragon. But I'm reading older stuff actually. I've been rereading Commandy, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and now leading to like the Phantom. Like I'm getting into like really Jack Kirby shit now. Like where my mind frame is. Like I'm
That's
going to the
awesome.
past. I'm going to the great shit, you know. And then I'm gonna start Eternals probably next week or so. But yeah, I'm just in a Kirby type of world.
That's awesome, man. Hey, he's back.
All right, I'm
Right.
back. Sorry about
Yeah.
that.
Oh, you're fine. We could hear you fine. So,
I couldn't hear
um,
nothing. I couldn't hear
yeah,
what
but
you were saying at all.
if that happens, just jump out and come back in. It's all good. While you were gone, I was bringing up some of the questions that were asked and all about the books. Was wondering, what comics do you read right now?
Um, what am I reading now? When I get a chance, I'm reading Sean Gordon Murphy's Batman right now.
Nice.
Or I haven't got through much of it. I don't get a chance to read that many books anymore. Um, I got like a stack of books up there I need to read actually. I still haven't finished reading Cyberfrog. I think and I got that I got that a while ago. I got Spawn 300, never got past the first 4 or 5 pages of that before I had to put it down and got into doing something else. So I got a bunch of books up there I need to read. So I'm not really reading anything right now, and part of me doesn't want to either. Though it's kind of by choice because
Yeah.
I'm writing my own stuff right now, and um I don't want anything I read to influence my work. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Like I'd read like a James Patterson book or something like that,
Okay.
or Stephen King or whatever. I'll read a novel or
Like an
something
actual
like that.
book. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want to get into too many comics because I buy things that are kind of like my taste, so kind of like what I might write like. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I don't want anybody else's work to influence what I'm writing right now. When I'm done writing, though, I'll probably sit down and read them all. Uh, but it's kind of like yeah, like I was saying, I don't want to get distracted and be like, oh, that's really cool. Why didn't I think of that? And then try, you know what I mean? Like, I want whatever I put on into my story to be 100% like original. thought. So I don't want to kind of cloud my process with other people's writings and things like that.
Makes sense.
I'm kind of in the same boat as you guys as far as like I got a stack of shit that I haven't read. Right now, actually, I'm actually, surprisingly enough, I'm into the run of Batman right now with James Tynion the fourth and the artists they have. That's actually
I
surprisingly
just
I've
got a
gotten
bunch
into
of those.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm way behind on it, so that's But as far as the stuff I'm actually getting into, anything Capullo puts out, anything Brett puts out, um,
Yep.
usually I'm right on top of those. So this comment I gotta bring this up.
LA.
Lockham, LA just said Rob practices voodoo, not up for debate. He's too good, and I think he might be onto something, man.
Oh man.
Spread that rumor.
Yeah, some dark forces. I had to tap into them.
So, what makes a great visually appealing page to
I
you?
did try to cease, actually. Sorry, I didn't mean. I was just Sorry, Sean. I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad. God, put me in the corner.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
What were you saying, Sean?
So like, what for you? Like, what makes like an exciting page where you're just like, this is fucking like not just up my alley, but how do I phrase this? Like setting up like a scene for me is always tough because it's like
Yeah.
you put a building there, but then you put a next panel of moved into the city or whatever. Like it's basic shit, but to make it cool, it's the making it cool thing that's always
Yeah.
tough for me.
Kind of diversifying your panels, even though it might be like pretty much the same shot. Finding a different way to approach it in the next panel is really cool. Finding different perspectives and angles to use. And so that's one way to kind of, if the story's kind of going slow and each panel is kind of going to be similar, you can you can find different perspectives, different ways to light it, different contrast values to add to it. I like really moody pages. I like which is the Shinobi right now is fighting like this fire demon, which is cool because there's like this bright light source. This guy is made of fire, and it's nighttime. So there's a lot of cool. There's a lot of good light that I can add in there to add. Set. I think that kind of sets a mood when you have like heavy shade and then a solid light source. I like to play around with shading, and I like to see other artists do the same thing. I like artists who know how to properly cast shadows, know how to render off of those shadows really nicely. Especially the more creative they can get, the better. Of course, you want a page with a lot of good dynamics. If there's a lot of something going on, anyone who can create that energy, I look for that too. I mean, there's a ton of things. I don't have anything specific. Just really just somebody that knows what they're doing. If can usually draw me into a page. Silvestri is really good at even at the subtleties, even simple pages where it might just be two people talking. He still has a way to suck me into that page, captivate me. Usually with the way he does clothes or the way he'll cast light on the face.
He's great.
He's real. Yeah.
Shadowing the face and lighting the face. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, big time. Silvestri. Jim Lee is incredibly talented, but I'm not a huge fan of Jim Lee's work because it's almost too. It didn't used to be. I'll say in the '90s, but some of his more recent stuff, it's gotten too.
Cookie cutter.
Yeah. Maybe so. It's gotten a little boring to me. Almost too. Yeah, like you said, the cookie cut, I guess. He's an incredible artist, but I'm not that enthralled by his work anymore.
I mean, that's a really good point to bring up about Jim. He's one of my favorite artists going way back. He's probably my first favorite artist when I was a kid. But I would say that pretty much ever since he took the editor position at DC, the work that he does is always quick. And I think that's what it is. He doesn't have that time like he used to just put into it. He's pumping out stuff to try to get like a deadline, and he's like,
that's true. And
a lot of stuff.
He's really good on a short with a short time frame too. He really is. I liked his that cover he did, the Batman. I don't know, what was it? Was it the Batman? It had him and Catwoman, and it was just their faces.
Oh, the Batman 50.
50, yeah.
I think it was the wedding cover. I think it was.
That was really good. That had a good mood to it. It was able to evoke some emotion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like another Batman he did. It was an upward angle. Recently, there's only two things I've seen recently that I really liked his, and those. I mean, I love everything he does. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's
absolutely
amazing. Just incredibly talented dude. But there was another Batman. It was like looking up at him, and I think it was like the texture in his outfit that really stood out to me. He somehow captured like this texture. It looked almost realistic the way he drew it, and just inked before it was colored or anything like that. I didn't like it as much when I saw it colored, but the black and white he did, his ink, whatever he did in the inking process, was really good.
I wonder if it was one of those damned covers that he was doing, like the Batman Damned series or something, because he had a different kind of costume on that, which was a little bit more. I'd never read the series, but I saw him work on the cover. That might be it, but
it had a texture to it. Like you could almost look like you could feel it. You know what I mean? The way he rendered on his suit was incredible. I don't know, the way he's been pumping out drawings since everything started really going under. The way he's been raising money, these daily drawings he's been doing are pretty amazing too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It just shows you what a machine he is, man. That dude. Whew. Yeah,
well, like when he inks his own work, and when he's just really being creative and diving into his own mind, and he's not just trying to produce something and send it off to a finisher like Scott Williams, who's going to do an amazing job on it. He really does some fantastic inks over his work. Where he's just drawing with ink. That's basically what he does. Loose sketch, and then just gets right into it. So I mean, I know exactly what you're saying. Like
he knows what he's doing. He knows when to dilute his ink to add. He doesn't just go in, solid black, brushing everything. He'll add in rendering with washing and things like that. So he's really good, man. He's got some crazy techniques, and he knows how to mix them up. Yeah, he's definitely very talented. Some of the things
the splatter with the credit card, and you take the white out. When I first saw that,
I tried doing that.
It was like getting A in chemistry.
I haven't seen. What does he use to do his?
He'll take. Well, for those whiteout pens. Yeah. He'll take that
I got one around here.
He'll rub it on the credit card and then kind of flick it on, or just sporadically do that. It's the equivalent of the toothbrush or like spinning, or blowing. But when I saw that, I was like, "Yo, that is the best trick ever."
I haven't seen it.
That's awesome. I even tried doing that, but it did not come out that well.
I caught a few of his Twitch streams back when he first started. Couple years ago. They were really good, but I haven't been keeping up with what he's been doing lately. All I see is the final products that he posts on Instagram or Twitter sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. I can't find it. It's I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, sorry to let you all down. I had it around here. I know it's but, I do have a question from.
We're low budget here.
Yeah. It's around here
Low
somewhere.
budget's my middle name.
Elliot asked a question earlier that I wanted to get back to because I think it's an awesome topic for young artists or whatever. Said, what advice would you guys give for working on small panels? Should you go all out and details and everything, or go with less is more idea?
Less,
So,
less is more.
Yeah.
For a smaller panel, keep them quick. Too. It depends on what the panel is. I would say if there's some action going on, you want to try. Less is definitely more, but you want to add some action to it. I like when I see small panels that there's something going on where it looks, the characters are kind of almost scribbly, really sketchy looking even after they're inked. And if there's not too much action going on, just keep it subtle. I wouldn't go, find a good way to shadow the panel. Casting good shadows on smaller characters is really cool, but you don't have to go into all the crazy detail you would if the picture was blown up.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's what I'd say. I mean,
I second that.
Yeah, I think it always looks better. Less is more, definitely on smaller panels.
And that's something you got to kind of get out of your head too, because when I was first starting to do panels, I would think that I'd have to cram so much even in a smaller panel. If I'm like really pulling the camera out and I'm trying to show a bigger scene and it's a small panel, I'm like, man, I got to put all of this kind of stuff in. You really don't. Focus on what needs to be focused on in the panel, draw that, and then move on. I mean, you got the big panels to put a lot of the detail and impress people. The small panels, just do what you can. Because honestly, on a small panel, you're reading a book, you're going to spend about 2 seconds on that panel.
And it's pretty much a setup panel. So like you're going to the next thing. Make, like McFarlane said, make that a little boring. So when you get to the punch, it's like bam in your face. It's a little contradiction. Castrate. I don't know. It's a word I can't think of right now.
Did you watch his sci-fi special?
Yeah. I sit up next to the TV to watch and draw. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I finally caught it last night. I was a few days late. I've been hearing a lot. I was hearing a lot about it. And I was like, man, I gotta watch this. But it's been popping up on YouTube, so finally I caught it there. It was really good. That dude's a genius.
Yeah, he's mad. I love it. Like he gives you that pick up your skirt and grab your balls speech and like go get your shit done, which is awesome. You're gonna get that.
Yeah.
But then like he's showing him inking the Campbell pages, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that was
I feel like he's hitting a second wind right now. Because for a while, when Capullo kind of took over Spawn, well, that was a while ago. But McFarlane got more into. He seemed like he was playing the background a little more and letting other artists take over. And I think when I would see him do something, it was still amazing, but it wasn't as good as when he first came out and started. Like, I think he probably had a lot more passion when he first was creating his own character. But now, I feel like the stuff he's been putting out recently is better than the stuff he was doing in the beginning. Like something. Like maybe he kicked himself in the ass. You know what I mean? I was like,
I think he's tired of people giving him shit for not drawing for the last 20 some odd years, And you can definitely see, I mean, if you've noticed on Spawn, ever since Spawn
300, 301.
Definitely 300, it's like he has an alternate cover every issue now.
Even the panels he's doing is fucking dynamic as could be. And it's like, it's interesting panels. It's a dynamic shot, and then his typical bullshit, but it's awesome. Like he's still got it.
His inking, man, is still just one of a kind, incredible. Like nobody inks like that guy, and you can tell it's Todd's inks, and it's so detailed and so just dramatic. He's got something special. And his new Spawn cover where he's like a gunslinger.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Oh my god. Yeah, my face melted when I saw that.
Yeah, that looks sweet.
That's the one that made me say, I was like, he's back. Like this
Yeah.
dude's definitely back. Yeah, he ain't messing around.
Speaking of Todd and inking, I don't know if I've seen this finished piece, or if they posted it, or if it's even done. But he had posted something on Facebook and probably Twitter a while back. I want to say like a couple months ago, where he was showing like he was doing a Silvestri piece, or Silvestri was doing something for him, and Silvestri gave him some really, really loose pencils where you could still tell it's Silvestri, but it was crazy loose, and then he was going to finish it McFarlane style. And he was just kind of talking about like how, how loose he likes to work on other artists and whatnot. And I haven't seen it done. I haven't seen it like finished anywhere, but I'm really curious to see it, because I want to see how well he kept Silvestri's style with adding his McFarlane-ism onto it, because it was a crazy, you know what I'm talking about, Sean? Did you see that?
It's like from a few years ago.
No. It was like a few months ago. Well,
where the hell have I been?
Years, months.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I remember.
He's a great anchor. Is my point.
Do you know what it was?
I can't remember, man. It was like a chick. She was like in a striking position. I don't know if she had like angel wings or something, and there was like some kind of monster or some shit. It was like a side view. It looked like it was gonna be awesome, though.
Where'd you see it? Was it on Twitter or
He's
Facebook or what?
it out.
I was like,
yeah.
It was on his Facebook, but he might have posted it on Twitter too. I'm not sure. It was like one of those, he does all those little updates about art, and then he'll talk a little bit about why he does this or why he does that. It was one of those posts, but it was specifically about inking. I actually think it was right around the time he was doing the 300 was about to come out.
He was posting for a while, and he would be like, yeah, check this out. He wouldn't post on Twitter. He would just try and send you to Facebook. And I was like, man, I'm not going to Facebook. Like, I've cut myself away from Facebook, man. I probably missed a lot of his stuff because of that. I still have it. I'm pretty sure my account's still open, but I just refuse to go on to Facebook anymore.
I don't blame you.
Every time I do, I'm like, Jesus Christ, because it's all people I know. You know what I mean? Where Twitter, you don't really know everybody. I go on Facebook, and it's like everybody that follows me is like either family or old friends, and it's always something stupid. And I'm just like, I know these people. What is it? And finally, I just shut it down. I shut it down. It's just crazy. Facebook is like the trailer park of social media, man.
What's funny is it used to be like Twitter. You get the Twitter mobs. You know what I'm saying? You get all the Twitter mobs on Twitter.
Yeah.
But Facebook is like drama central. And I know we broadcast to Facebook, but I've talked shit about Facebook for the longest time. I mean, even when I was
it's
doing
some low brow drama too. Like it just because there's like no filter on Facebook. You can pretty much get away with anything on Facebook. You know what I mean? And where Twitter has, it seems like has a little bit of regulations. Instagram's definitely probably the more prestigious appearance-wise out of the social media networks.
Well, yeah, it's great.
You don't see too much BS on there.
Yeah,
but I seem to do better on Twitter than Instagram. And I probably would do really good on Facebook. But what gets me about Facebook is like I know most of the people that follow me on Twitter follow me because of my work. And you really just have no idea why anybody's following you on Facebook. Half of them live in fucking like some foreign country, and they're trying to get you to send them money. And like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
It's like, weren't you just a chick 2 weeks ago? Like, I'm like your titty shop.
Yeah, what is going on?
Got me.
Dude, I get like 10 friend requests a day. And I hardly, for anybody watching, I'm sorry that I hardly accept any friend requests anymore because a lot of times it's no. I mean, it has nothing to do with that. It's just people see that you follow or your friend request with this person or you're friends with this person, and so they go and they friend request you, and so you accept them. And then I've had some stuff. I don't try to put too much personal things. I put ideas, things that piss me off and stuff on Facebook. But there'll be times like I'll just accept somebody because like whatever you follow an artist I like, what you know Sean, blah blah blah, whatever. And then 2 seconds later, they are attacking me on a comment I made like a couple days ago. I'm like, who the fuck are you? You know, I just accepted your friend request, and now you're attacking me because I posted something political or religious, and you don't like it. I'm like, delete, goodbye, and like fuck off.
No,
is that
and then
here
to
or
top it
you
off,
talking about Facebook?
Facebook, yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah.
And then to top it off, they send you like my art page thing. I'm like, fuck that. Like, get out of town, you bozo.
Yeah. I made the mistake of going back on there when the Shinobi Sasquatch campaign launched, and I don't know what I like must have forgot how Facebook works or something, because like for some reason I thought it might help the campaign, and I just started like I don't even remember, man. All I know is like within like 2 days I had hit my like limit of followers like that following me. I guess they limit it now at a certain rate or something, like 5,000 or something like that.
Something like that.
And absolutely none of them had anything. They had no interest in my art. You know what I mean? And like I said, half of them were sending me like telling me that they were in a bad spot, sending me messages, and they like, you know, the old scam. You know what I mean? Like, hey, man, I'm fucking. You know, I'm in this country and I just really need to get back home. And can you send me like $2,000 and I'll repay you? Like, I'll send you like.
Nope. Sucks for you, nerd.
It's like, I'm an artist. Do you have $5? You know?
I borrow money from you.
I said that to a homeless person in Baltimore at Baltimore Comic-Con. I'm outside having a cigarette, and you know, the bum is like, "You got any money?" Yada yada yada. I'm like, I told him the spiel, and he was so dumbfounded. He just kind of like shimmied off without like anything. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, artists are worse than bums. You know,
dude, the same thing happened when I was doing. A
lot of artists are bums. Well, I mean, you get a lot of street artists, or a lot of bums are artists, I should say.
Guilty.
It's funny though. When I was in a band a little bit ago, we were down in Texas. We were on tour, and this was my guitarist Ian. We had a guy come up and was begging for cash, you know, and he did the same thing too. The guy came up and was like, "Dude, you got, you know, a couple dollars I could spare?" And he was like, "No." He's like, "Hey, I'm in a band. I got no money. Do you have money I could borrow from you?" And the dude just kind of like turned and walked away. And he was like, "No, dude, seriously." I was like, "You have any money I could borrow?" I fucking was laughing so damn hard with that.
If I knew somebody needs it, I'll give money. If I got it in my pocket, I don't mind. I'll give it for sure. As much as I can, if I can afford it. I think when the pandemic first hit, I was at the grocery store, and my wife was like getting ready to load groceries. I was already in the car, and she was like talking to some guy, and some dude stopped, started talking to her, some old guy. And she was like, kind of like, you know, and like he drove off. And I was like, what was that? She was like, so the old dude said his son got laid off and he didn't have any money. Like he was just going around like trying to get money to help pay his bills and shit. Or gas in his car or something, man. He's an old guy. So I chased him down and I gave him money. You know what I mean? But like that's different than when you go into like DC or something like that, and there's just dudes everywhere. Now, I did learn. I was told, and I always followed the rule that when you park your car out there, if some dude comes up and says, "Hey, give me $5, I'll watch your car," you give him the $5. So I would pay. They'd get money from me that way, but that's about it, though. Yeah. I don't know. I try and help people out, man. I really do. I give people a hard time. I like to see people take care of themselves, but I have a soft spot to where if I got it to give, I will, as long as you're not being an asshole to me.
Yeah, I think if I try to judge people as much as I can, because I mean, I used to give money to everybody if I had it. I don't carry cash on me anymore, so I usually don't as much. But there's been times where I've gone to McDonald's or whatever and ran some food down to the guy at the corner, you know, that had a sign that said hungry, you know. But there's other times where I know it's a scam, and I can't tell you how I know. I just know certain ways people approach you, because you can kind of see genuine in some people, and you see like kind of like the player, the scam in other people.
Well,
like,
yeah, man, it's an art for some of these guys. They got it down. It's like it's like a job, and I'll fall for it sometimes. I knew that in Fredericksburg, where I used to live in Virginia, man, it was like they take shifts. One of them would be like an injured vet, but he wasn't really injured, and then you'd have like one dude out there with like his dog saying they're trying to. I mean, but you'd see him like every day at the same stop. You know what I mean?
You're like, get there yet?
Yeah. And like eventually, I stopped giving them money and shit, because I was like, these dudes are probably making more money than me right here. Like, these dudes are making bank, because I just seen 10 people give this dude cash. By the time he got to my car, because there was like this one bridge, man. There's like this one bridge where they would post up, and like they'd hit it right at rush hour, everybody be held up on the bridge, and boom, they're hitting them going down the bridge, man, and making good money. I'm telling you, I think these dudes were definitely making more money than me every day, and more power to them. I mean, don't get me wrong, but there came a point where I was like, nah, dude, just don't even ask anymore. But
doubling back real quick, Elliot had asked a question. He said, if you could work on any mainstream heroes book, who would you like to draw? Do you have a favorite character you'd like to tackle?
Meteor Man. I swear to God. I swear to God. The Marvel comic of that. Oh, dude. I fuck up Meteor Man. Yeah.
I don't know. None of them, really. I can't think of any right now I'd like to draw that were already created. I'd rather create my own. I don't think I would take any pleasure in drawing any other already previously created characters. I think it would all just seem too much like work to me, especially with somebody else writing, and then somebody else who already created the character. You know what I mean? It's like I'd feel just way too boxed in, man. I want to see how I can do for myself before I say, all right, maybe I should go ahead and just jump on board somebody else's bandwagon. You know what I mean? I'd much rather create my own characters.
I think I'm in the mood right now where I'd rather do the same thing, create, than work on someone else's book. But to answer the question, if I had the opportunity, like beforehand, probably like Batman or Wolverine or something like that, it would have been awesome back in the day to tackle. But only if you got to work with certain writers. Like if I get to get on a Batman book with like Jeff Loeb or something, or work with Jeff Loeb on anything, that's a writer I'd love to work with, because I've always dug his style. He writes action real well. He writes story real well. But yeah, as of right now, kind of in the same boat. Like I'd rather just work on my book that I'm working on right now. That's giving me the most pleasure and excitement. Besides the notoriety that you might get, from working on a big book, big character. That might be the only reason, but.
Yeah, you do get noticed, man. That's one good thing about it. Like, I'm wondering how beneficial it really is. Like, if you come out with a really good character, with a really good story, and you're doing an indie book, is it going to get the recognition it deserves if you haven't been noticed for drawing something that's already been created and is hot and it has a lot of steam and gives you a lot of steam for being part of that project? I'm hoping that's not the case, because if I can avoid it, I'd rather not have to resort to trying to get involved with any other major projects just to get a name. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, it's a cool attitude to have, because most people, all they want to do is work for the big two, just for that notoriety wise. But just the way the industry is nowadays, I don't know if it would be as fun or even profitable to do, honestly.
Not like it was. No, definitely not like it was. Well, I don't know how. It was probably. I don't know how profitable it ever was, like working for Marvel back in the day. I mean, all the artists seem to complain a lot about everything, which is why they all end up leaving and going and doing their own thing for a while. And then wound up back. Some of them wound up back. Some of them wound up back with DC, and then Silvestri started Top Cow, and some artists went and worked for him. But I think artists, when they work for these companies, some of them, you got like Capullo, okay, you got who's still in there doing big things. I know Capullo's making good money right now, pretty good. I mean, doing just pencils.
Yeah,
Booth is doing pretty good. I think I saw he posted something, and I'm not sure if it was his rates, but I think it was. And I think he's doing he's making like $325 a page to pencil, which ain't bad. And then especially if I don't know if he's keeping his work or not, and gets to turn around and sell the original. So. You would think so nowadays. You'd think he was, but I don't know how they do that now. But he works. He does like DC stuff, so I think DC allows the artist to keep the original art, and they've been doing that for a while. I think.
I don't know
if somebody
was to offer me a job, like in a bigger company, but they didn't allow me to keep my original art to make money off of that, I don't think I'd take the job. I really don't think I would.
No way.
Because I probably wouldn't be getting paid enough page rate to pay my bills.
Yeah. You'd be like, who's getting the artwork?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
You guys are keeping it? No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, if they wanted to pay me more, I mean, maybe. But not at the rate that they're paying most artists.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to pay some good rates if you want to try to make a living. And that's the sucky thing. I'd rather work on my own book and see how that does financially, because I have a good job right now that I can't afford to give up. I really can't. I got a family, I got a house, I got bills. And if, let's just say, DC came and said, hey, we like your work, we'd like to put you on so-and-so book, here's your page rate of, 150 or something, I'd be like, that would be awesome. But I can't afford it. Yeah, like that, I wouldn't be able to do it. It's like, it doesn't pay enough, unfortunately.
You wouldn't even get 150, man. Like they're starting people. They're like starting 75. People off like 70 some bucks, man.
Yeah.
Like when I set out to start doing comics, like not too long ago, like maybe 2.5 years ago, I knew what I had to be able to make to do it. And then I looked at what they were paying people. It was really discouraging.
You kind of cried.
Because I was like, I'm not even going to send them a portfolio. Like, there's no way I can do this, especially just starting off. No name. I couldn't afford it. And it was discouraging. And I was like, well, and then the idea went from that to, well, what if I, create my own book, which is what I wanted to do anyway, and pitch it to like Image.
Right.
I didn't know about Indiegogo or Kickstarter or anything like that. I had no idea about crowdfunding comics. The only noteworthy indie company was Image, and it's changed a lot since back when I really liked it. But they still have a few popular books. So, and I was like, maybe if I come up with something and pitch it to them, I can create my own project, and I can make enough that way. If the book's good. And then I started talking to Dan. Well, before that, I decided I found out about the indie comics, and decided I was going to get into doing Shinobi Sasquatch. That's around the time I met Cal, and we decided to do this book. But I had no idea what Indiegogo was. I didn't know what I didn't know about all like the pollution in the comic book industry either. I hadn't been keeping up with it. I didn't know there was like a war going on.
Right.
And that these crazy ass sensitive SJW types were seemingly winning it in the mainstream. You know what I mean? And that people were getting shut out. I didn't know any of that was going on. I didn't realize there was so much drama in drawing comic books, or writing or whatever you're doing. Like I had no idea. And when somebody told me, I think Cal told me about Comicsgate, I didn't know what it was. And he was like, well, some people don't, what do you feel about this? And he kind of let me know. And I was like, honestly, man, I don't care what's the best route to go. Like, I'm not really worried about any backlash from Marvel or DC because I don't want to work for Marvel or DC. Like, there's nothing in me. The only reason I would want to work for Marvel or DC is if the money was right, which it isn't. So that shoots that down right there because I'm not a huge fan of all the characters that somebody already created. There are certain characters I love and I love reading and I love to see other artists draw them, but I have no desire to go out there and redraw these characters, unless they wanted to pay me good enough for it. And since they're not paying Dick, that I don't care what Marvel or DC would think of me because I'm trying to create an indie book and doing it as a Comicsgate project on Indiegogo. And I was like, what, and then, you got the rumors about what Comicsgate was. Now, this is coming from me, someone who didn't know anybody in Comicsgate, didn't know anything about Comicsgate. And kind of Cal was giving me the lowdown on like what to expect if I do a book as a Comicsgate project. And I was like, well, that's kind of shitty. Why do people, why are people saying this stuff? And then I started getting to know people, being introduced to different creators, some people who did previous projects with, the big two, some who were just coming out. And I've yet to experience or observe any of the bad publicity that Comicsgate has gotten. How people are trying to say that these people are racist or bigots or sexist and all these crazy accusations that I realize they aren't relevant in any way, and it's actually just a big smear campaign. And I'm not exactly sure why. I mean, I know because you got some people that give these people a hard time. Obviously, they're giving these writers a hard time right now that are changing all these characters around and doing whatever the fuck they want with these characters people have been in love with for so long. And so they'll grill these writers, but it's pretty much stays right in the harsh criticism realm. It doesn't get into a personal level to where you could say someone is actually attacking you. You know what I mean? Or that they're making a sexist or malicious statement towards you. It just seems like the criticism is very harsh because these people are insulted, because they're not being paid attention to. These people that spend a lot of money on comic books just kind of got swept under the rug. So I understand. I kind of understand what's going on now there. I kind of see what's going on, and it goes back and forth. And I think I've done a pretty good job of staying out of it.
Yeah, you seem like you stayed out of a lot of the drama, which is, I think that's key. You know what I mean? Because people they'll search you out if you start I don't know, it's so stupid. It really is.
It kind of reminds me of 21 Jump Street, the movie. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Love it. So, you get the premise. You know what's up. Like,
yeah.
It's like, really?
Yeah.
This can't be.
Yeah.
Are you fucking with me?
Yeah.
Like, it can't be real like this. But, that's...
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
Wow.
They did. But anyway, I don't know. I feel like I've gotten off topic a lot tonight. I hope I didn't screw you guys' show up, but like...
No, this is awesome.
Yeah,
that's what this show's about.
Once it hits like 7:30, I'm running on like fumes. I went when I had to get off there. I went and took a shot of coffee, drank a little water, splashed a little water on my face, try and wake back up.
Well, I was
No,
about to say,
this is great. Thank you,
yeah,
thank
it's
you.
been,
This is
yeah,
awesome.
this has been awesome.
And
We've
it's
been running
cool.
for
With,
about,
no, you're good people. You know, like if the one thing I want to get across to all this whole bullshit that we're doing is like the people we interview are good people. You know, like and they're talented as fuck, and it's just
it
we
doesn't
try to
matter
make
what
it
they're
relax.
associated with, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can identify as a tree for all I care. You know, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like definitely. It's just the savagery. Like you gotta view people as individuals, man. Like people get lumped into certain crowds, it seems like, and then they get attacked for something they had nothing to do with, you know,
mhm.
and people have no problem doing that. Like they have no shame in that. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, like you know, sometimes it's good to just I like to deal with people like one on one, man. One on one. I don't give them people a hard time that write for Marvel or that are getting a lot of shit from a lot of the Comicsgate crowd, unless they were to, you know, come at me on a personal level. Then I would let them have it.
Right.
But and yeah, and then the Comicsgate people, I'm sure there's some assholes in Comicsgate,
There's
but the
assholes
ones,
everywhere.
yeah, the
Like
ones I've been dealing with are really cool people. You guys, like anybody who's invited me on the show to talk, some of the war campaign guys, I know there's been, you know, a lot of back and forth with them, but all those guys, man, that I've talked to were straight up dudes with me. You know what I
hmm
mean? I don't know what they got going on with anybody else, but they were cool
sure.
with me, and I'll go back on their show again. You know what I mean? Uh, so
Yeah, like,
yeah.
you know, our show is basically we have a love for comics, we have a love for the industry, we love the art form, and we love to reach out and talk to people that we admire, whether we have a big support of the indie scene, whether that be Comicsgate or just anybody that doesn't want to fly any kind of flag and just wants to be their own indie project, and obviously anybody that is a hero of ours that we can get on the show and interview. You know, so I mean, we're wide open. Everyone's accepted on this show. You know, like
Yeah.
that's one thing I would love to get across to people that might have a different opinion about what we
Except
do.
for
You know,
Bendis. Fuck that guy.
I was
He
kind of
blocked
like
me.
you were saying, like
he blocked you. Nice.
just kind of a solo character doing your own thing. It's definitely
Yeah.
cool. That's what I was. I would definitely consider myself a Comicsgate artist now, though. Um, and it's and this is why. I not to say I wouldn't work on any other projects that
Right.
weren't associated with Comicsgate, but I have gotten. I'm basically getting the attention I'm getting now, uh, because of all the incredibly nice um, and supportive comic book fans that are that create Comicsgate. You know what I mean? And I've been accepted by all these great people, and it seems like um, the rewarding feeling I get for doing what I'm doing is because of Comicsgate. I haven't had too many people outside of Comicsgate really you know, give me any kind of pep talk. You know what I mean? Definitely not throwing any money my direction. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Helping me pay the bills. So I would definitely consider myself a Comicsgate artist now, straight up. And I would like to see Comicsgate expand a lot, um, kind of branch out to a lot of new creative talent and really just grow, man, and actually become something of kind of like its own little industry. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Actually, has. Yep.
It had, yeah, it definitely had. You got different. You got Frega with his own coming out with his own comic little label. You got Ethan doing his thing, and some other guys too. So it's really it looks promising to me. So let's I guess see what the future holds.
Well, we've been running for about an hour and 45 minutes. I got one
Awesome.
last question we're going to take in here, and then I'm going to let everybody go for the night. Rob, stick around with us for a little bit after we end the live stream. But Elliot's been asking some really cool questions. So he just asked, my biggest fear is deadline or dealing with deadlines. are you guys setting deadlines for your work? And do you finish first and then campaign later?
Who's going? You want to
You can
go?
go first.
You go. You go.
No, I campaign. It would be nice. It would be nice to get a book done, or at least the majority of it done before. If you can afford to do that, it would be cool for the people backing your book. If you can't afford to do it, which I can't, I think for my next 2 or 3 books, I'll have to do the campaign towards the beginning of the creation of the book in order to be able to afford to create that book.
Right.
And there was another part to that question.
He
I
has to
think
make deadlines. Do you make your own deadlines so you get it done, like in a certain amount of time?
You've got to set deadlines, and hopefully you can meet them. In my experience, and like I said, this is my first book. There's a lot that I've learned about how to approach your deadlines and how to make them happen. Because I haven't made too many of my deadlines for different reasons. So I will take everything I learned from this and carry it into my next project, and hopefully it'll be a little faster and a little less strenuous on the brain for me, trying to figure out how to make things work. Kind of, you just got to learn as you go, right? Like
Yeah,
anything.
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean?
Yeah, well, I'm taking the time that we have now to able to work on my project. I have a December idea for doing like the mailing list trailer, like set that up. But then have like a promotion to like March and do the campaign then, because like I need to build up my audience. I
Yeah.
need to build up an audience. I need to exploit my character. So
Got to whore it out.
Yeah, I gotta be a slut, man. Like that's what I gotta do. So I'm building as I'm going, and I have the opportunity to do that. So,
As far as me, I've got a deadline that I've set, but because it's my first campaign and my first book, it's kind of a relaxed deadline because, like you're saying, Rob, I want to make sure I put everything into this book so that whoever ends up backing it gets a very quality, the best work that I'm producing at this moment as I'm doing the pages. Same thing with Sean. I need to build up an audience or a fan base that's actually going to come and support the book. So that's another thing that I consider when you're doing campaigns, when you have no real name. So yeah, I guess make your deadlines are always good to give yourself, because then you don't procrastinate on things. So at least you have a goal in mind. So I'd say that's definitely a good thing to do.
Yep. Find a good balance.
Yeah.
A balance of progression, but not rushing. And if you got to take a little extra time on something, that's cool, but don't take so much time that it offends the people that are supporting you.
Yeah. Yep. And if you have a chance to finish your book before you start the campaign, all the better.
Yeah.
If you're that lucky, which I'm hoping by the deadline I gave myself that I'll be done penciling it by the time it's going off to before I start the campaign, and I won't have to worry about it. Just worry about other people getting it done. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. It's the first time I'm doing it. So, all right. Well, before we get out of here, I want to thank you for coming back, Rob. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Man, thank you.
Awesome.
It's been awesome.
I appreciate you guys having me back on, man. This is great. I like to come on these shows as much as I can. It helps with exposure and being able to let people ask questions, and then just talk to you guys about your projects and just kind of be a part of the culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when I'm not on here, man, it's like I'm like daddy daycare trying to draw at the same time. So like I lose touch. I lose touch a little bit.
Yep. Thank you, Elliot. Appreciate it.
Elliot.
Thank you, Elliot. Appreciate it.
Well, Rob, why don't you tell everybody where we can find you, where we can find your art, latest projects before we get out of here?
You can find me on Instagram at whoisrobwillis, or on Twitter mainly. I think I post most of what I post on Twitter on Instagram, but not all of it. So if you want to get every little thing that I post, That's like the quick sketches, the little warm-ups, the half inks, the full pages, everything. The best place to follow me is on Twitter at Who Is Rob Willis. Right now, I'm working on Shinobi Sasquatch, which is on Indiegogo. You can go check it out there. We're about to hit 80K. I think we're almost to 79 right now. And I'm also currently working on Graveyard Shift 3, written, or I don't know who's writing it, creator John Malin. And then he's got some other really talented people involved in that book, and it's doing really good. It blew past Shinobi Sasquatch in a day, I believe.
Crazy.
And I'm also doing different. I'm doing covers all the time you'll see my work in a bunch of different books. I got a cover coming up for Peter Samedi for a book he's going to be.
Peter.
Yeah, he's going to be putting out soon. Which I'm past my Speaking of deadlines, my deadline was like a month ago, but I talked to him and he was like, "Look, just as long as I get it by September, I'm good." He's like, "I always leave a window." Thank God he did that.
Right. Yeah.
But if he would have said, "Hey man, I need it done now," I would have got it done. But he gave me a window, so I kind of had to juggle around some different things to make it happen. If you're interested in getting any commission work done, if you want a cover done, or if you just want a personal piece, you can DM me on Twitter and we can talk about all the details. I will let anybody know who's interested. It is a little bit of a wait once you're on the list.
That's good.
Well, worth the wait.
I was just going to say, yeah, for anybody that wants commissions, I implore you to do it.
I will draw the shit out of whatever you want me to do. But I will say, if you want to get anything done within the next, say your deadline is for what you need is 4 or 5 months down the road, you're going to want to hit me up now, like type deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're looking at about a 4 or 5 month wait once you're on the list. And so if you got a project coming up at the beginning of next year or something like that, and you're interested in getting me to do some work, you can go check my work out, like I said, on Instagram or on Twitter. If you got something coming up at the beginning of the year, you're going to want to hit me up pretty soon.
Awesome. Sean, where can we find you, buddy?
You can Google me and you'll find all the bullshit. Now, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, Sean Ahrendt, all across the board.
Ugh.
And on Primetime Polton with Mark Polton, the Best Friends Show with Mark Polton and Phil McNulty, Fridays and Saturdays. So there.
You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Primarily, those are the three that I do. YouTube, it's all under Joe M. Sonntag. Just type that in, Google it, you'll find it. I'm also taking commissions right now, I guess, as I'm working on my own book. But like Rob said, there is quite a wait because I've got commissions going on and I've got pages going on and I got a family and a job. So it is what it is, people. But thank you for everybody joining us tonight. Special Saturday show. The questions were great. Thank you for that. And we will definitely have Rob back on again because we enjoy talking to him and it's always been a pleasure. So I would say it's 10 o'clock in the Eastern. If you're going to get ready to go party, be safe out there. And if you're old like me and about ready to go chill and watch a movie and fall asleep, kudos to you. So
sounds like a plan.
Before we get out of here, I'm going to have everybody feast your eyes on this beautiful Black Flag cover that Rob drew for Dan Fraga. And you can go back it now. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, please. There's I think it came out like 2.5 days ago, and I think it's sold about. I think there's already been 120 or 130 copies purchased. You can get the cover in black and white, or you can get it in full color. There's 1,000. It's got a limit of 1,000 for the cover, for the colored version of the cover, and I think 500 for the black and white, and it's not even looking like it's any close to hitting that point. So guys, please go check out Black Flag on Indiegogo and back my cover, please.
Yep,
I did this for free for Dan, or we worked out a little exchange. So I'm trying to put some money and help him put some money in his pocket, man. He's got a big family. He's a good dude. He gives it up for all his followers, all his supporters. He gives drawing tips. He's on YouTube all the time, giving it up. The dude deserves success, and I just want to help contribute to that. So please go back this cover.
Absolutely. And speaking of Dan, Frege is going to be on our show on the 21st. So everybody check that out. We're excited to talk to him for the first time. So once more, thank you for everybody checking it out. I'm dying here. You have a great night. I love you all. Do weird and wild things to each other. And we will talk to you all later.
With Adelso Corona.
Yes, next week, Adelso Corona is going to be on the show. Fantastic inker, probably one of the best in the industry right now. Hell yeah. Tune in.
I'll be in the audience.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Tune in, ask a bunch of questions. It's going to be great. It's going to be a fun time, as it always is here on the Ott and Stuff show. I'm going to steal Sean because he usually says it, but I've been used to saying it this whole time. The Ott and Stuff. Sean, just say it. You say it better than I do.
Ott and Stuff.
Yeah, it's just so nonchalant. So, all right, everybody. Yeah, we got.